Guys, just first of all, tell us, what did the win last week? What have you seen that do for the group there?
Yeah, obviously it was a tough start to the season, but we turned up last week and put in a performance which we deserve. We worked hard for. We trained well all week, and it gives us a lot more confidence moving forward. We know what we're capable of, and if we do the little things in rugby league, all the tough stuff, the hard stuff, well, there's no reason why we can't win any game. So yeah, it was certainly very pleasing. Obviously back at home as well. A tough opposition in Leeds, so it certainly gives us a lot of confidence moving forward.
I'm sure it's not been doom and gloom there, but have you seen a few more smiles on faces this week?
Yeah, definitely. It's always difficult after a loss, and when you've had a couple in a row, it's tough. But they're a great set of lads, and Lasty's been great, and everyone's bounced into training this week after a good performance last week. And for us, it's important that we back up the performance and playing a good side. But if we back up the effort, and the performance on the weekend, we'll be happy.
Just on Lasty, just because you mentioned him there, obviously we're still to find out who's going to be the permanent head coach there. But would he have your backing?
Yeah, I really enjoy Lasty as a coach. He's been great for me, while I've been at the club. He's a good character as well, which I really enjoy, and he really cares about his players, and he's passionate about his job and his role. But I'm sure the club are in the process of finalising who the coach is going to be moving forward. But for us, we're under Andy's control at the minute, and we're going out there and playing for ourselves and our coaching staff.
Is it something the players are talking about in your quieter moments, or are lads just lads and just get on with the job?
Yeah, look, for us, it's about going out and performing, and training well during the week and playing well on a weekend. And as players, that's all we can do. It's not our job to hire a coach. So for us, it's just working on our own individual game and collectively as a team, and going out there and performing on a weekend.
To that end, guys, how happy have you been with your own contributions so far this year?
Yeah, look, like I said, I've really enjoyed the environment at Cast. A great set of lads, and obviously we had a bit of a slow start to the year, but I think Macca being back the last couple of weeks, he's helped give us a bit of direction, and obviously Milky being there as well. So the more games we can get under our belt, and have the same team on the paddock each and every week. We've had quite a lot of change through injuries the last couple of weeks, which is always difficult. But for me, it's just going and going out there competing, doing my role for the team, and that's what we try to do this week again.
How tough has that actually been? How challenging has it been? The fact that the spine, you come into a new spine, and that spine has changed over the first month or so. How difficult has that been to get some fluidity?
Yeah, I suppose it's like anything in it. It makes it a little bit difficult, but that's no excuses. We have to, go out there with the players we've got and learn to perform. And I've been around long enough now to understand, people get injured, people coming in and out of clubs, and it's how you adapt to that. And like I said, they're a great set of lads, and we all care about each other and wanting to work for each other. So it makes life a lot easier.
How are you feeling about coming up against Warrington then for the first time?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I've got a lot of good friends who play at the club, and Bourne is over now, Dufty. A lot of the Aussie lads who I've played with in the past as well. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge. Obviously, we've been playing really good football this year, but I'm excited to come up against some old teammates.
Have you had a few texts or WhatsApp messages this week or not?
They will be. I'm sure they'll be coming in quick today and tomorrow. So yeah, look, it's exciting, isn't it? It's always good when you get to play your old club, or some good friends that I've become friends with over the years. So as a club, it's going to be a challenge. They're a great side, and they've been playing well this year. And for us, if we go out there and put the performance like we did last week, we'll be happy.
It's a question that always gets asked of players playing against the former side, especially for the first time. And it seems strange asking you this at this the stage of your career. But do you feel you have a point to prove against the Wolves on Friday?
No, I don't have a point to prove. From a short period at Warrington, I enjoyed it. Obviously, I played with a lot of good friends there, and it was a bit of a roller coaster a couple of years. But no, I don't have anything to prove. For me, it's just going out there and performing for my teammates and for the club and for Cass, and just go out there and enjoy the moment while it lasts.
And from what you've seen, what are they doing so differently other than winning games? What are they doing so differently this year from last year? What's changed, do you think?
Yeah, look, they've had a massive change in players, haven't they? Obviously, they've gone out and recruited, a huge forward pack, and they've been playing obviously some good football. Then off the back of that, good go forward. You've got your likes of your halves and Dufty out the back there. So, they've just been playing consistent, really. They haven't been turning cheap ball over and just doing the little things well in the game. And when you've got the talented players like they have, they're going to make you pay. And, that's what they've been doing this year.
Lastly, who's most likely to try and get under your skin from Warrington on Friday night?
Oh, that's too many to pick from. Probably a little Dufty or my good mate Boney, but I'll get them both rattled before they rattle me.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, how good to get that win last week?
Yeah, it was obviously a great win for us against Leeds at home. Obviously after a bit of a slow start, it was something that we needed to go out there and perform for each other, and I thought we ddid that, and it shows what we're capable of, and if we do the little things in rugby league well, and what you can achieve. So yeah, it was a good win at home, and the most important thing for us now is to go out and back that performance up against another good team.
I was going to say, in terms of getting a run together, it's pretty crucial now, isn't it, to make up for the first few rounds?
Yeah, it definitely is. Look, it's a long season, but we certainly started off not where we wanted to be, and to get that win against a good opposition on the weekend was really good for our confidence, moving forward. But like I said, for us, it's about the process and taking it week by week. But this is another big challenge, another big week. But it's certainly very important that we go out there and put in another good performance.
Obviously, Warrington have got off to a flying start after everything that happened last year. Did you always expect them to bounce back as they have?
Yeah, look, they've started the season really well. They had a massive turnover in players, especially in the forwards there. Playing some good football off the back of a good go forward, with the halves they've got, and, Dufty at the back. So, yeah, it'll be a big challenge, but, like I said, I'm really excited to getting out there and playing a really good team.
I'm going to say, do you enjoy going up against your former team sort of thing? I know it's an obvious question, but do you enjoy that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's always good. I suppose against Warrington, I've got a lot of really good friends within that team, and a couple of the Aussie lads who have come over, who I've spent a lot of time with in Australia as well. So, yeah, it's always good coming up against your buddies, but it's an important game for us as Cass, and we just need to go out there and put in a really good performance.
And George Williams, obviously, he's carried on from where he left off in the World Cup as well. Just how well is he going at the minute, and how key is it to stopping him?
Yeah, he's a great player, is George. I'm lucky enough to play with him a number of times now, and like you said, he certainly carried his form on from the World Cup. I thought he was great in the World Cup, and to come up against him, it's going to be tough to stop. I think for us, first and foremost, is making sure we do a good job on their forward pack. They've been laying a really good platform for the likes of George and Drinkwater. So that's going to be super important for us to hopefully keep him out of the game.
Just wondering, does it give you a sort of a point to prove coming up against your old club?
No, I wouldn't say it's a point to prove. No, it is enjoyable, though. I suppose coming up against your old teammates, and like I said, I've got a fair few in that team, and along with a couple of my Aussie mates who I've played a number of years with over there, and obviously now at Warrington. So no, I wouldn't say I've got anything to prove. For me, just going out there and doing a job for my teammates here at Castleford and this club, and make sure I go out there and put in a good performance.
How you feel you've settled in to life at Cass? You enjoying it?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's a great environment to be around, a great set of lads, great coaching staff, and it's a good working environment. And although we started the season a little bit slow, we had a good win on the weekend, and hopefully we can kick on from that now.
Nice to be back in God's country in Yorkshire.
Oh, yeah, it is. Apart from it rains every day, but no, it's good. It's I've enjoyed being back closer to home. Obviously, the travel over is not too bad now. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
And how's the partnership with Milky going?
Yeah, it's really good. He's a great player, and he's a good person. And obviously, with Macca being back now the last couple of weeks, he's certainly really helped. And hopefully we can stay on the paddock as long as possible together. And the more games we play, hopefully the stronger that combination will become.
You mentioned there's a couple of Aussie pals in that Warrington team. Would that be Matt Duffy? Did you play with him at St George?
Yeah, Matt Duffy and Paul Vaughan, yeah. Good couple of mates, played with them for quite a number of years, actually. So Duffy will be carrying on as usual on game day. So I look forward to getting out there and playing him.
Have you ever played against either of them before?
Yeah, I have. I think when Vaughan were at Canberra, and then obviously Duffy. I don't think I played against Dufty actually. When I moved, I think he'd gone to the Bulldogs. So But it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
And you'll know all about Duffy's game. Obviously, it sounds like there's a little bit from him off the pitch, but on the pitch, he's a fast, electric fullback. That's something that you and your teammates have to watch out for.
Yeah, he's a good player. Look, I spent a lot of years with Duff, and he's a quality player. We can see how quick he is, and he's got a good passing game as well. So yeah, it's certainly going to be very important tomorrow that we try and minimise his impact. He's dangerous, so we've got a big job on our hands.
And then on the forward side, Paul Vaughan, I think he's one of the best performing on paper forwards so far this year. The forward pack will have the hands full with him, won't they?
Yeah, they will. It's because he keeps putting too much sticky spray on his hand, you see. But no, look, he's been tremendous this year. He's a great player, he's Varney, and he carries the ball really well. And with some of the other big front rowers have got there, and Cassiano, McKaylee, it's we need to make sure that we're doing a good job on their go forward, because off the back of that, you've got some quality halves and obviously Duffy at the back. So yeah, it's super important we do a good job on their middles tomorrow.
And just finally, you mentioned the win last week, but was there always a sort of discussion that it might take a few weeks for this Castleford side to click, because it is sort of a new side with a new backline? Was there always that sort of discussion in there?
Yeah, like anything, it takes a little bit of time, but that's no excuse. So some of the performances we put in early in the year were not up to standard, in terms of effort areas and just the simple things in rugby league, and holding the football and making your tackles, and that wasn't where we needed to be, certainly early on in the season. But we've been working on that last couple of weeks, trying to stay positive with that. And, against Leeds on the weekend, I thought we did that really well. So for us, it's about being consistent and backing that up each and every week. And it's important that we do it tomorrow night.
Improvement in your team from the Huddersfield game to the Leeds game was really quite remarkable. I thought you were pretty poor against Huddersfield, to be polite about it. But against Leeds, you really came out and showed what you could do, and won that game convincingly. Really, even though it was only a 6-point margin. What caused that improvement? Can you put your finger on why you were so much better in that game than in the previous one?
Yeah, look, probably a bit of a kick up the ass at training, to be honest, because as individuals and a team, we were certainly miles off against Huddersfield. Just the basics of the game, and we just kept putting ourselves under a lot of pressure. And to be honest, in the first couple of weeks, we were a little bit like that. But I think the Huddersfield game was a really big wake up call, that we were just miles off in all areas, and especially our effort areas. So obviously we come in and reviewed it, and knew we had a big game coming up against Leeds, and coaching staff just stripped it right back to the basics of the game and doing a lot of things well, and we managed to go out there and do that against Leeds. So hopefully that gives us a lot of confidence.
Must have been great for you to hear the crowd at the end celebrating, because they, they'd not had anything to celebrate until that point in the season, had they?
Yeah, look, it was, the fans have been turning up each and every week, and it's been disappointing being letting them down. But for them to turn up again and cheer us home, and to hear the noise at the end of the game was tremendous. And hopefully they turn up tomorrow night again and come out and support us.
Does that inspire you when you're on the pitch? Do you pick up the feeling from the crowd, and does it give that extra 1% that maybe makes a difference?
Yeah, it's certainly, especially here on this such a little ground, when you get the fans behind you, you can certainly hear them. They're very vocal. So, like I said, hopefully they all turn up tomorrow night and come out and support again, because they have been great so far.
And how's it been for you this year? Because obviously, Lee Radford signed you to a 2-year deal, but then he departs after a couple of games, in the season, and Andy Last comes in and has been in charge for the last couple of games. That was that a real shock for you when Lee decided that he was going to leave the club?
Yeah, I suppose it's not ideal when a coach leaves a couple games into the season, but I've been around the game long enough. I've been through this before in my younger days, and unfortunately, it's out of our hands. As players, what the club decide to do with the coaching staff, etc. So obviously, it wasn't ideal after 2 or 3 games, but unfortunately, that's sport sometimes, and we just have to crack on as players and individuals. And like I said, obviously, Lasty's stepped up, and he's been really good so far, and I've enjoyed being around him, especially over pre-season, these last couple of games. So I suppose the club will make a decision in the near future.
The thing is, if you beat Warrington tomorrow night, then you would think that Andy Last would be in pole position to get the job, wouldn't you? Let's face it, it's a results-based business, and if he can coach you to win tomorrow, gosh, that's a big result.
Yeah, it is. Like, obviously, Warrington have been playing some great football. We haven't lost a game yet. So, yeah, look, for us, it's just going out there and performing for each other, performing for the coaches, for the fans. And like I said, if we get the job done, we get the job done. And, that's what we strive for each and every week. But I'm sure the club will, make the right decision in the future moving forward. But, Lass has been doing a great job so far.
You think the club's got the potential, despite obviously being fairly low down at the moment, to actually get into the playoffs this season?
Yeah, look, it's a very long season. There's plenty of time ahead of us, and it's just about being consistent. We showed what we could do against Leeds. It's about doing that each and every week, and if we play like that each and every week, we'll give ourselves every chance to play finals.
How do you sort of reflect on your 3 years at Warrington? Then, do you have any regrets about your time there?
No, I don't have any regrets. We make decisions in life, and things happen for a reason, I guess. And it was a roller coaster, I'll put it that way. But I had some good moments. I had some, really difficult moments. But I suppose that's life. Sometimes things don't always go to plan. But for my time there, I've got some great friends at the club, and have been friends with for years and continue to be friends. So. It was challenging, but obviously I've moved on now, and I'm at Cass, and I'm really enjoying my time.
Good stuff. In terms of how things sit at the minute, obviously you guys have had a bit of a difficult start, and obviously Warrington have started really well. In a sense, then, do you see this as a bit of a free hit for you, again with little pressure on it?
I wouldn't say it's a free hit, but they have, like you said, they haven't lost a game yet. They're playing really good football, and. Obviously the first couple of weeks we struggled a little bit, but we went out and put in a really strong performance against Leeds, on the weekend. And, it's super important that we go out there and back that up. I think for us, we are playing a good opposition, but for us, it's what we do as individuals and as a team. And if we do that collectively, we'll give ourselves every chance of winning.